Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show of the Codex podcast. As usual, I am your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my co-host, the Ric Flair of comic books himself, Uncle
Woo!
Gary.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Whatever you want, wherever you're at, one of those applies.
Yeah, it depends where people are. And then for me, even though it is, dark out, it's basically like the middle of the day for me since I'm on that vampire schedule. But even though I may be a vampire, as you see, I got those ashes. So see.
So if you didn't have ashes, there wouldn't be any there, and would you have an ash hole?
Maybe. Look at that. Hey, Richard. Glad to see you here. Thank you. And hit
Hey, Richard.
Hit that like button. Do some push-ups. That's right.
It's push-ups, baby.
Yeah. So, when, so like I said, yes, earlier today, I was at church getting these ashes on my head and praising God and Jesus and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and everybody. But now I'm here.
When you go, do they call in special backup for the priest when you walk in the door?
He does sometimes have a few other people by him, so I don't know. I think it's just like a welcoming committee.
So instead of just doing the holy water, they make you jump in a vat of it before you go in?
No. I came in today and it was very full. The line was almost out the door, but then I walked past people. Excuse me, I'll make my way in. But you'll see why this episode is called Ash Wednesday, not just because I knew I'd be appearing like this. I found a random panel that I was like, I can only post, well, specifically, it would go perfect for today. And then to also, of course, there's, we got the usual schedule. We got a comic book news. We got Fear and Insanity. A pretty high number today. Also, we got Right or Wrong, which will both have some right or wrongs. And then we have a random panel. Oh, well, like I did say, it goes with the day of Ash Wednesday. And I got somebody joining the F list today. His name is Spellcheck, so make sure you're spelling everything correctly and using proper grammar. And then our topic of the week will be, what are some comic book shows that will still be talked about decades from now? And Richard comes in. He says, number one, true. Watching the Codex station is good for your health. Right.
Generally right.
Yeah, I'll say for the most part, yeah.
For the most part.
TMNT 23. Richard, the other week, it was TMNT. You weren't here. I said, I know Richard was going to be going with TMNT, so I had to cover it with that.
He wasn't even here, anyone.
And then he says, Lobo still sucks.
Richard, I kept Lobo off my top 10 DC character list thinking of you.
Yes, everybody check out. Yeah, you guys had your top 10 DC list. And I must say that Chris's number 10 was very interesting. Somebody who eats anything.
He did that one for you.
I saw you like, take that, Sonny.
Yeah.
And he had a special honorable mention for you. Doiby
Dickles. Yeah. That hurt. That hurt a lot.
Yeah, so yeah, let's say I was talking to Dan like after the show and he was telling me that that Chris had picked him for you.
Oh yeah. If your buddies can't screw you over, who can?
Exactly. That's good times talking. And in the meantime, I got a little bit of a note to write to Uncle Gary. Would you tell everybody a little bit about some comic books that came out this week? Or you know what? Actually, as I do this, Uncle Gary, your shop unfortunately went through a bad robbery. Would you tell everybody a little bit about that?
Yeah, some malcontents decided that they want to do a little late night cash register shopping, and they broke the side windows to the shop in at the side window panels next to the front door. They broke it in at 4:00 in the morning about a week ago, and came in and were in the store less than a minute. Went straight for the cash register and walked out with a little bit of cash. They didn't get rich, but, they got some cash. They didn't take any books. I'm grateful they didn't smash the counters or do anything like that. The glass cases. They didn't take any product. So, in and out in a minute, but they damaged, we came in, and then when we had to fix it, it was early on Sunday morning, a week ago, and it was, so damn cold that morning. So I guess it's about 10 days ago now. And it was so freaking cold. We had the, the wind was blowing. It was like -0 out there, but we did it. We got it fixed, got it up there. And then what was really cool is the amount of love we got. We had subscribers come in and help clean up. All the staff, we had told the staff we're not working today, but everybody showed up to help out, to clean up. And we got a lot of love, from when, we posted the picture. And there's a rash of them that have gone in this DMV area. For those who don't know, DMV is District, Maryland, Virginia. So District of Columbia, Washington, Maryland, Virginia. So that's the DMV when you hear it referenced. And quite a few stores. I mean, at least half a dozen stores in the DMV area have been robbed in the same way in the past 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully they'll get these, assholes and get them. But one of the really, really cool things is friend of our shop, friend of mine, friend of, all the people that have come and gotten things signed by him at our shop, Philip Kennedy Johnson. When he heard, he posted, he asked if there anything we could do, and we thanked him for his concern, appreciated it. Unbeknownst to us, he did a, he posted him, he posts, he talks and he walks when he goes to pick up his son from school. And he posted that, to give us some love, people should, shop with us, give us some love, and that he was going to, donate. If anybody reached out to him, he would donate whatever books of his that they wanted and sign them for people and give the proceeds to Comic Logic. And he did that for he had that going on for that weekend. And that's what he did out of his own generosity. And he had a post a few days ago that said that he was going to get ready to cut us a nice check. So from what he had done, and that's just Philip Kennedy Johnson being a stand-up individual. I texted him personally, and let's see. I said, I said, hey brother, heard you reached out to Rob. That's another reason why you're the best. And he says, ain't nothing. And I said, that's the kind of thing the best people say. And then after we saw the post he did where he was going to donate, the proceeds to us, he said, damn, Philip, I just saw your post. You're such a wonderful human and such a great friend of our shop. We love you, brother. He says, love you too, Gary. Honored to know you. And there you go. Just that's the kind of guy. That's the kind of guy he is. And
it's awesome, yeah, that he did that. Helping you guys out.
That he just the fact that he reached out and wondering if there was anything we could, that we could do, that anything he could do for us. Just that was, enough to make us feel good. But the fact that he did that, wow, yeah.
Yeah, Richard says Philip Kennedy Johnson draws a great Dex Star.
I didn't know
many great characters. Yeah.
I didn't know he drew a Dex Star. I thought he was just strictly writer. But if he scribbles too, that's even better. So, but like I said, just class act. And I tell you what, he is one of the best writers going right now. His Batman and Robin, he just wrapped up his last storyline on it because he's exclusive with Marvel now. And I'm not sure if he has another issue or two of House of L, but that's been really good. He had a great run on Action Comics for a few years. It was just amazing. And then what he's done with Hulk for the past 3-4 years.
Yeah, the Infernal Hulk?
Right. Infernal Hulk right now, but it was Mortal Hulk. And then the Ghost Rider 44 that he created. Just great stuff. His Felspire Chronicles, The Last God, that was something he created. That's a great big novel, just a great big wonderful book of all original things that he created. That whole storyline was spectacular. So he's definitely one of the best daggone writers we have out there. And most of the time he's writing this stuff, he was active service Army. So, had a full-time gig and he's still churning out this great quality work.
Yeah.
So, good on them.
It seems like it's a time, at a time when we're finding out all these talented people, like, oh man, so and so is bad, and so and so is bad, and oh, so and so is a jerk. It's nice to find out that somebody we're a fan of, to say behind the curtain they're even better than they appear. It's like a better person. Yeah.
And he takes a stand politically.
Yeah, he speaks up. Yeah,
he speaks out politically on, and I am very much sympathetico of what he posts, in these troubled times that we've got. So, I think he's on the right side of most of these things. So, stand up, dude.
Yeah, that's really great that he's helping you guys out. And then, like the jerks who robbed you, maybe they're just thinking, oh, they're getting some money, but that's also it's damaging your shop. And then also, they've taken money and then breaking that huge window that costs you all money. And like I said, everybody has to take a day off of work, and they're messing with a lot of people.
And we spent half a day getting it fixed up, and we had it fixed up where the last half of the day we were open for business. So it's a good deal.
Glad to hear you guys are back in business. And once again, I'll put it over there, at the bottom. To head over to Comic Logic. You can address right below.
That's right. And and we'll have our spring LotCon on May, I want to say it's 17th. I'm going to look at the calendar to be sure. But our spring LotCon will be May 17th, Sunday, May 17th, where we turn our parking lot into a little mini Comic Con. So there'll be comics. There'll be usually we have a tattoo artist there, so you can get a tattoo even.
If somebody gets a Codex tattoo, we will let you appear on the show. We will show your tattoo on all the Codex shows,
no matter where it is.
Never. Oh, you're right. That's
Yeah, are you prepared to make those?
You know what? I may have to do some editing before that.
Yeah,
you're right. It depends. In most spots.
Yeah, there you
go.
go.
Or if it's in we will show you, and if it's in a place that we're not allowed to show, we'll at least show like a picture of your face and say it's in a certain area.
Maybe you might have it in an area where it says CX, but if that area gets, I don't know, excited, it'll say Codex.
Yeah, that one we wouldn't be able to show. That one we just have to.
You wouldn't be able to show that one?
Show your face and say they have it in a certain place and it can do a certain thing. But yeah. I'm glad you're able to sell the comics again. But you know what I had not long ago?
Mail call.
2 times this week. It's mail call. So, I finally completed my comic collecting goal of collecting every issue from the Age of Revelation. The last one I had left was The Last Wolverine, issue number 3. So that is completed.
Have you read them?
I am on the issue 3s of each one. So I'm like last night I finished X-Vengers. I finished that story and I enjoyed it.
I did too. I like that one too. Yeah.
And then this other story just grabbed my attention, and it was this Black Cat issue number 7. Just something about it just grabbed my attention and said, add me to the collection. So
add you to the collection. Well, cleavage sells.
Yeah. What can I say? It's one of the oldest selling, as they say, like you said, cleavage sells, or they say sex sells.
Mm-hmm.
It still works. And then I ordered a comic book and I thought it said, oh, it's going to come on the 19th. And suddenly it came on Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, who's sending me a gift? And then it was this. And then my wife said, that'll be for me. So
nice.
Avengers, the collection, Obsession. Yes, got quite a few Avengers issues in there. And it includes the story, the graphic novel of the Avengers Death Trap, The Vault. That one I've been waiting to read it. And then I was like, I want to get it more in paperback form as opposed to reading it digitally. Well, now I got it in Epic Collection.
Well, there you go.
And it includes also the Subterranean Wars are also in there as well. And then, of course, the Obsession Collection. So that was my mail call over the week. Let's see, Mr. Keith. This past week I got splurged on trade paperbacks, but specifically I got the DC Finest trade paperback of The Spectre, The Wrath of the Spectre, from 66 to 83.
All right, Mr. Keith. If you've not read those, especially the 10-issue run in Adventure Comics, love to hear from you afterwards. Actually, it's a little more than that. They're running Adventure Comics from the 70s. Jim Aparo, art, Fleischer's writing. It went from Adventure Comics 431 to 440, and that was 10 issues. And then there were 3 stories that weren't published because it moved to Aquaman as the lead feature. And later on, there was a Wrath of the Spectre little mini series they did where they republished the Aparo run and then did a final issue with those other 3 stories. So that'll be in there too. So I'd love to hear from you after you let us know what you think after you read those, because those are amazing. And I read those Adventure Comic issues when I was 9.5, 10, and to see the Spectre turn a dude into a block of wood and cut him up, that was hardcore for my 9, 10-year-old mind to wrap around. I was like, oh my God. So Spectre's always been one of my favorites. And that's just one of the demises that someone suffers. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil them for Mr. Keith, but damn, Old Testament Wrath of God stuff in that.
Enjoy it, man. It's pretty good. Next time you Spectre, one of your favorites. I was thinking you was Spectre.
Number three on my top 10 character list. Number 2 on Chris's.
Yeah, so it was cool to see. Nice to see the Spectre on the list. So, man, what do you say? If you haven't checked it out, check out everyone's top 10 DC list. Good stuff. And before we jump onto the actual show, would you like to tell everyone who you guys are all taking on tomorrow?
Oh, our comic character of the week is Iron Fist, Danny Rand. And if you're Iron Fist curious, then tune in and see if Iron Fisting is for you.
That's right. So enjoy it. And now it'll be our little beginnings. So we'll see you in about 30 seconds. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the actual show of the Codex Podcast. As I said before, I'm your usual host, Sonny Kruger, joined by my usual co-host, Ric Flair Comic Books himself, Uncle Gary.
Hello, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Boosh joined us just on time for the actual show. Hey, Mr. Keith, I said, keep those in mind about when we talk about the Spectre comic books. Yeah, talk about the 80s stuff, and gives a shout out to Third Coast Comics in Chicago. I'll have to check that out.
Mr. Keith, I compliment you on your reading pleasure there, or your reading choice there. I think you will love that volume.
Yeah, so enjoy. Hey, so what's going over here? So today we got some comic book news. We got Variant Insanity, Right or Wrong, Random Panel of the Week, and we got the F list. And then finally, our topic of the week will be, what are some comic book shows that you think will still be talked about decades from now? So to get us started, I will go with the rundown. Amazon dropped its Spider-Man Noir trailer. So the show starring Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, it was set to debut on Amazon Prime May 27th. Also, the Road to Armageddon is kicking off. Marvel's big event of Armageddon is kicking off. We saw a little bit in Captain America. And then today, the Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon issue number 1 came out. So Marvel's big event of the year has started. Also, another big event that's going to happen is Ghost Machine. Ghost Machine's first crossover event is set to get started soon, and it's set to have 2 prelude issues and then be a 4-part series. So it's set to have a bunch of comic books involved in that crossover event. And then DC, Marvel wasn't the only thing up to showing trailers. DC they put out their logo to lanterns, and some people aren't so happy because, well, as you can see there, it says lanterns, but there's no green in it.
There's green in it. It's just very faint.
Very faint, maybe the bottom of that E, but yeah, I think people are expecting a little more green to it. And then there's rumor mill, some rumors, some gossip. People wondering, is Adria Arjona going to play Wonder Woman? The reason people are wondering that is because James Gunn said that Adria is his first pick to play Wonder Woman. If he can have anybody play her, it's Adria Arjona. So, Uncle Gary, what got you excited? Have you seen the Spider-Man Noir trailer yet?
I have not. I don't even know. And that's animated, I'm assuming, right?
No.
Oh, it's live action?
Live action, Nicolas Cage, Spider-Man Noir, yeah.
Wow. Well, I'll give it I didn't watch the trailer, so I figured it was an animated thing, but not that anything's wrong with that. But, Nicolas Cage, he's either brilliant or it's just really bad. So, he's had some great work, and he's had some stuff that's just purely pedestrian. So hopefully this comes off as good. I love noir. So, we'll see.
I saw something before. He was saying that he had said his performance was like 70% Bugs Bunny and like 30% Humphrey Bogart. So we'll see. The trailer, he seemed like Nicolas Cage in the silly movies. He's like doing silly stuff, his eyes. But like you said, when he acts serious, Leaving Las Vegas, adaptation, he can do really good.
Pig.
Okay, so I haven't seen Pig yet, but I think someone mentioned that they actually liked it. Yeah, so Nicolas Cage has some good stuff. We'll see how it is. Obviously, it's going to be different, And then, the casting Asian woman is Black Cat. I did see that. She is in the trailer. And I know that Spider-Man Noir, I'm not too familiar with Spider-Man Noir. I've seen a little bit like in the animated, but I know he does go by Ben Reilly, so it's not a different Peter Parker. But yeah, when it comes to Black Cat being cast, I know it's like a different, it's like multiverse. It's kind of different, so that's why I'm expecting characters to look and be different. And an interesting thing, of a good kind of sales pitch for like Amazon, how they're going to get more views, is they're releasing it in two ways. You could watch it in color, or since it's noir, you could watch it in black and white. So they're releasing two versions of each episode. If I get to it, I think I may go with the black and white version. I think it fits the noir kind of style better. And Mr. Keats says, so far, Spider-Man Noir doesn't look like it rests on its concept, and Nick Cage has a passion for comics. Yeah, that's one thing I do think he does. He's known for loving comic books.
That record-breaking book that just sold was Nick Cage's copy.
Oh, okay. So
the one that sold for what, 10 million or whatever it was, that was Nick Cage's. I guess that was a Superman one.
Oh, so it was okay. I always remember the Superman issue #1, right?
It was either Superman 1 or Action 1. I think it was Superman 1. But anyway, the one that sold for 10 mil recently, that was Nick Cage's book at one point. And it was stolen from him. But it was the one that the provenance was. It's the one that links back to Cage. It was Cage's book.
Wow. So like I had heard about that. I didn't realize that at one point he had it. So there you go. Nicolas Cage. Cameron Poe in Con Air. Still one of my top action movies.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a fun one. And some more fun. Like I said, the road to Armageddon has begun. Like I said, Wolverine: The Weapons of Armageddon has come out. It came out today, so I don't know if anyone's been able to check that out. But I can read a little bit about it. I know that it is a 4-part series and it is written by Chip Zdarsky. So it says Armageddon, on Marvel says Armageddon is coming. Teased last week, the game-changing event from superstar writer Chip Zdarsky will have a major impact on the future of the Marvel Universe, including a transformation of Earth's mightiest heroes, the likes of which haven't been experienced since Avengers Disassembled. Key build-up to the saga can be found. Marvel made a mistake. They said can found. I will correct it and say the key build-up to the saga can be found in Zdarsky and Valerio Schitti's current run of Captain America, recent developments in Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, along with its aftermath in Miles Morales Spider-Man and Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon, a 4-issue limited series launching today. Yeah, and the villain in there is Nuke, who I will always think of as being the one from Born Again. Yeah, and then movies comes in to say, yes, I'm pretty excited for Spider-Man Noir 2. Yeah, it trailer looks awesome.
But the Armageddon, they ought to have Def Leppard help because they had that great song Armageddon.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I've seen them live 4 times.
Wow, I've seen them twice, I think.
Well, one of my faves.
One-armed drummer can do some damage on that drum kit.
Yeah, really can. So hey, look, he shows don't give up. He literally is a drummer, lost his arm, kept on going, and then even after that, there was a couple years off. They had to work towards it, and then made Hysteria, which is I think one of the greatest CDs ever. Some of my favorite songs are on there. Hysteria, Love Bites, of course. You got Pour Some Sugar on Me. Many great ones. So, enough of the music talk. I will jump on to some more Ghost Machine. Uncle Gary, I think you're more. Are you familiar with Ghost Machine? You're more familiar with it than I am.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the crossovers with it, though. They're already doing a few crossovers, not even announcing, because the Northerner has appeared in the last 2 issues of Geiger, and Redcoat. A bit of he's from the Redcoat book, so so they're already doing some crossovers. So we'll see. The other one looked like it was crossing over with maybe Halo, and with Halo and Hornsby, and with the Rockefellers, and also we'll see how all the ties where they make inroads into. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Everything so far, Ghost Machine has just been aces.
And hey, so it goes. It'll be called looking like it'll be called the Unbelievables, and like you were saying, Hornsby and Halo, the Rockefellers, it's a Mad Ghost, the $1 Trillion Kid, Invaders, y'all. So there's a lot going on. Somebody's from Chicago, but it looks like the name begins with a G. Is it Genius? So there's a lot going on. Unbelievable Boy. So
yeah, they hadn't been introduced yet.
So I got some new characters. Gonna go on. And then I see in the comments, hey, Bruce says, Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man Punk. Yeah, and then they could bring in Daniel Kaluuya. And when we talk about Def Leppard, Bruce says Meth Leopard from Australia as a killer band.
That's a great name, Meth Leopard. I like that.
First, I thought there was a mistake in there. So, wait, from Australia. I'm like, okay, there you go. So very interesting, yeah. Def Leppard, Meth Leopard. Yeah, so Ghost Machine's crossover event, and then, quickly. I mean, there's not too much to say, but we were saying, people not too happy about the lanterns. As you pointed out, Uncle Gary, there's a teeny bit of green, little shades of green.
I've heard rumors that the first logo was white. This is green, that they're going to keep greening it up every time you see the logo. So,
yeah, because before it was just looked like this, and it was just plain all white,
stark white. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not going to be like super upset about it, but I would say it makes sense. Add some more green in there, because the lanterns are Green Lanterns, and it doesn't seem like they'll be focusing on the other lanterns, like like Red Lanterns, like Dex Star and Atrocitus, or Blue Lanterns, like Sam Walker.
Well, not in the first season. Give them time.
Yeah,
let them build. We're just now getting Hal Jordan and John Stewart. And supposedly Guy Gardner will appear.
Okay, yeah. But I was saying it with all of them, because I was going to be like, if you had all the lanterns, then you could have like one color, or each letter like a different color. But right now, we're focusing on the green, so that's why they can green it up. But yeah, so it takes care of that. And then with that rumor, how James Gunn was saying he would, if he got first pick, it would be Adria Arjona as Wonder Woman. How are you familiar with the actress?
I am not familiar with her.
Okay, so she was in a movie on Netflix. It was called Hitman. It was with Glenn Powell. She's okay. I did see Hitman. That's where he went under.
Is that the one where he went undercover and he posed as different people?
Yep, and she's the main
the love interest. She's a fine-looking woman and a good actress. She was very good in that role. So
yeah, so that's what I was saying. Yeah, she's definitely got the look, and she is a talented actress.
The main thing with whoever is Wonder Woman has to have pretty good fighting skills. So, I don't know that she did a whole lot of fighting in that movie. Maybe a few scenes, but not combat. So, that's where she'll have to shine.
Yeah, and I remember also she was in a show called Irma Vep. It had one season. There's one scene. If you like her, you should definitely see one scene of her, and it's like the one known scene of the show that is like the one scene has like millions of views, and all the other like trailers have like are in the thousands.
That's because she's naked.
No, but she's demanding another woman do this. She's
okay.
Turn around, and also the actor or one of the actors in there, I believe his name is Lars. He's going to play Brainiac.
Okay.
So we had a show that didn't get more seasons. It wasn't too known, but some of the actors and actresses in there, look at that, to think that they will be going to the DC. Well, maybe he said the actor who was in there, he is set to play Brainiac. Adria is just, who James Gunn would like to play Wonder Woman. And now let's go on some of those comments. Yeah, Miss Keith said your first Green Arrow was just called Arrow, and now Green Lantern is just called Lanterns. Yeah.
They're cutting out. They've been deforested. There's no green.
Yeah. I wonder if Wonder Woman will just be called Woman.
Woman.
And Richards, I would watch a Dex Star show. You know what? I would have to watch that too. Boo comes in and says Lobo could show up to kick Dex Star at the end of every episode.
No, that's wrong.
It is wrong.
Why are you trying to hurt Richard's feelings?
Even Richard said boo. But who knows? Maybe Lobo would come kick him, but one day in the show it would be like a big episode. Dexter gets his revenge. And when Lobo goes to kick, Dexter catches on with his claws and he does not go flying. He scratches Lobo's eyes out. But who knows what will happen?
I just watched Young Justice season 3 a couple weeks ago, and Lobo was in an episode, so it was great. It was fun. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say, and he kicked a cat or something.
He didn't kick a cat, but he did stomp a little Lobo. Lobo stomped a little Lobo to death.
Dang, don't beat your little selves too much. Come on. All right, so for me, that takes care of most of the comic book news, unless there's any last minute things you'd like to mention.
You know what? I'll mention somebody lives in the county lived in the county I did, and that's the great Robert Duvall, who died 95 years old. He lived in the county I live in, Loudoun County, Virginia.
Wow.
And he was a great, patron of the county, and he had a horse ranch near Middleburg, and all the locals that knew him and met him just said he was just a fine gentleman and an asset to the community. So nothing but love for him. And for me, I've loved his work. His movies have been, I've viewed all my life, and what he did in The Godfather, of course, what he did in Tender Mercies, he won the Oscar for. He was in Network.
Even in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes, Boo Radley.
Yeah,
that's right. He started out as Boo Radley, and and he was wonderful there. And he was in the movie John Wayne, won a Best Actor Academy Award for in 1969. He was in True Grit. He was Lucky Ned Pepper. So he was in that. Had a shootout with John Wayne in that. And he was in the movie, or the character of his that I loved the most was in a miniseries called Lonesome Dove. He played Texas Ranger Gus McRae.
I saw a clip. Was he he looked very old in there? Like they made him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's so good. Him and Tommy Lee Jones. So it's either McCall or McRae. Well, anyway, he was Gus. And he was fantastic in that miniseries, and that I believe he has said was his favorite role. He was in a Western with Kevin Costner, Open Range, I believe it was. That was another made-for-TV one that was really good with Kevin Costner. But Lonesome Dove, he was simply magnificent. He and Tommy Lee Jones were partners in the Texas Rangers, and they were just fantastic together. And Tommy Lee Jones was silent and didn't talk much and brooding, and Robert Duvall was loquacious and stirring things up all the time, and was just great. So do yourself a favor, watch some great Robert Duvall, watch Lonesome Dove. Oh, Apocalypse Now,
Yeah. That's a famous line.
Yeah, that's one of the most quotable lines in movie history. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. That's Kilgore. Yeah, the officer. Yeah, just wanted to surf. War's going on all around him. He just wanted to surf. So just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. The air cav.
Yeah, for such a big movie, he's the one, like, his line is the one that's.
Yeah, and he was, and his part in the movie, maybe he's in the movie 15 minutes, maybe. So, but memorable as hell.
Yeah, and then Two Colors. I always think of Colors.
Colors, that's right, with Sean Penn. Yep, sure was.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah, what he told about the story, about going to the bull, telling about going to the sheep. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Great actor. Great actor, and like I said, local resident of our fine state and our fine county here. So Robert Duvall, rest in peace. You were an asset to our cinematic journeys that we take. You've certainly lit up our movie screens and our television screens for many years. So what great. Oh, and also in one of the great Twilight Zone episodes called The Miniature. It was in season 4 when they were an hour-long episodes, and it's one of the highlights of that season.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like I said, so may Robert Duvall rest in peace. And also, speaking of people who lit up our screens, James Vanderbeek passed away the other week. He had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was somebody. I'm a big Dawson's Creek fan. I have every season on DVD, including the special extended version of the series finale. So that was a show people would get me on, but I'm someone, like I said, me, I'm not afraid to be laughed at. I'm not afraid to be teased. I like what I like. So Dawson's Creek was a show I watched, and then finally he passed away at the age of
48
years old. Yeah. Brad Arnold, the singer of 3 Doors Down, also passed away. It's a band I like. I saw them. I had tickets to 3 Doors Down.
Well,
47.
Culturally, Jesse Jackson was a big loss.
Yeah, Reverend Jesse Jackson, yeah.
And, I just read an article today by a woman that is the one of the money columnists in the Washington Post, money advisors. And she has a column on, money and, wealth. And her name is Michelle Singletary. And Jesse Jackson was famous for going to a lot of schools in areas that were a lot of underprivileged kids, and he would say, tell them, have them repeat, I am somebody. I am somebody. And it was a wonderful article in today's Washington Post where Singletary was moved here by him coming to her school and saying that, because here she was a kid who was being raised with her 3 siblings by her grandmother, because her dad was in jail and her mom was in and out of, using and on the streets and things like that. And so she was on welfare, and she was embarrassed because, your grandmother would get the government cheese and things like that. And she just felt like a nothing. And Jesse Jackson came and had a assembly at her school and had them repeat, I am somebody. Even if I'm on welfare, I am somebody. And as a young kid, that day changed her life. And what a wonderful testament to the legacy of this guy, that he changed lives from some of these really underprivileged kids that didn't see a future, didn't see a way out. And here he got to, his message sunk in. And here she she is, like I said, she is the money columnist for the Washington Post in a very prestigious job. And, I've read her columns for years. So good for her. Good for her. And it was a really moving article with her personal experience. So, Jesse Jackson was, he was on the balcony. He was on that balcony when Martin Luther King was killed. So he was part of that civil rights movement and was there when he was assassinated in Memphis. So his legacy is great. And then for something that isn't as important, but highly, highly entertaining. If you have not seen the SNL Weekend Update but oration, where Jesse Jackson read Green Eggs and Ham, it is one of the greatest orations you will ever see. Is Jesse Jackson, who was a fantastic speaker, reading Green Eggs and Ham.
I'll have to look that up.
They're playing it now. I sent it to several people. You know what? I'll try to send you the link to it. It is absolutely fantastic. And it was back when Kevin Nealon was doing Weekend Update, and I think Dr. Seuss Theodore Gazelle had just died. And so Jesse Jackson, I think, was actually the host that week, and they tied it together. And having him read Green Eggs and Ham was absolute. And he read it like he was preaching a sermon. And it was absolutely brilliant. So I highly recommend Green Eggs and Ham by Jesse Jackson.
I'll have to check that out. And then one thing I didn't know also about him was that, because I was born in 1990.
He ran for president,
in the 80s, he ran for president. And I'm sure that inspired a lot of people to see it. Like, even though he didn't get it, but the fact that he was going further than anybody thought he would go.
There's great footage when Obama, the night that he was announced as president-elect, the big rally in Chicago, tears running down Jackson's face, that he had seen this dream that he had been marching with Dr. King and he had run himself, and to see a black man who was elected president of the United States, it was pretty moving.
Yeah. And then also another actor that passed away was Tom Noonan. He played in the movie Manhunter. He was the villain, the serial killer, also the Last Action Hero. He was tall actor. He always played villainous parts. He had like this look and he had the intimidating height, but what I saw, he always seemed like a decent guy. But yeah, so he also passed away, Tom Noonan. Manhunter, I think, is one of the very underrated movies of the 80s. Well, Gary, we've been chatting up, and I will get back to our chat.
Sonny, I'm sending you the link, buddy.
I will check it out. And when you're talking about Robert Duvall, Liz said he's a great actor, and Mr. Keats said he's great in The Paper.
Oh, yes, that's right. And you see, there's so many movies. You can't even think of all the movies he has done at one time, but it's just, like I said, for me, it's Lonesome Dove.
And then Liz had said Gus. Maybe was that when you were trying to wonder
Gus McRae. He was Gus.
Okay.
McRae or McCall. I can't remember the last name exactly, but he was the Ranger Gus, and he was great.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah, because his swagger walk is now famous from Mondo. And then Richard was asking, was John Wayne's son, or maybe grandson, in the new Mandalorian movie?
I don't know if Brendan Wayne is in the Mandalorian movie. I would imagine he is, but I don't know exactly for sure. But because he is when the helmet is on, that's Brendan in the show. So I imagine they would have used him for the movie too. And that's John Wayne's grandson, Brendan, who was at this house.
That's right. Yeah.
It's awesome.
And then when I talked about Tom Noonan, Bruce said, House of the Devil is a great Tom Noonan movie. I'll have to check that out. He was also in The Pledge. Tom Noonan was in quite a few good movies. Like I said, Last Action Hero was a movie I pretty much grew up in, and he was the Ripper. He was the very intimidating with the yellow coat and the axe. Yeah, so unfortunately, many passings, and in life, every day, not just famous people, every day people are passing away, and may they rest in peace. And while we're here, I try to put out a good show and bring. To the Kodak Station, we try to bring some entertainment to you all, try to bring you some happiness into your life. Sometimes life can be pretty insane, though, which brings us to...
I don't know, burying insanity? Is that what it brings us to?
Yes. You know how Variant Sanity goes. What comic book do you think had the most covers this week?
Well, I'm going to say it's a Dynamite book. Though I am tempted to say Ultimate Spider-Man 24 since it's the last issue. But I'm going to say the Thundercats, Dynamite, and I'm going to say 28 issues.
28 issues for
28
Thundercats.
28.
And Booge. Richard earlier came in with the TMNT 23. Give everyone a little bit of time. I know sometimes commercials come on, so it puts people maybe like a bit of 10 seconds behind. So give everyone a little bit of time to think about what comic book had the most variants this week. And Booge does come in and he says Transformers. And Mr. Keith is going with you. Uncle Gary and says Thundercats.
Thundercats. Let's do it. You know, Thundercats was a cartoon that came out after my time, since I'm an old fogey, and I knew that the lead one was Lion. I thought it's Lion-O, right?
Lion-O, yeah.
I always thought it was Lion-L. Like the train set. Oh, Lion-L. Yeah,
Lion-O, Richie.
Yeah, Yeah, there you go.
Hello?
Yeah, I was wrong all night long.
But I don't give everyone a countdown of the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And I'll tell you that it's actually not a Dynamite. 3, 2, 1. The comic book this week that had the most variants was absolutely something we know.
It was
Absolute Batman number 17.
Really? Wow.
Would you like to take a guess as to how many covers it had?
I'll stay with say, what did I say before, 28? I'll keep the 28.
Okay, Gary keeping the 28. And Mr. Keith thinks it is 4 more with 32.
It's one variant for every day this month.
Variant for every day this month. Yeah, when you think about it, next week we're already almost over with February.
And interesting that February, if you look at it on the calendar, it's just little blocks. Started on a Sunday. You know, when February has got 28 days and it starts on a Sunday, it's just a neat little 4-week block.
Mobius had gone with before G.I. Joe. He said, if I say G.I. Joe every week, one day it'll have
it'll be true.
Booger saying that he really liked the Thundercats cartoon when he was a kid. And Richard said, 8 covers are almost always better than variants. For the most part, I do agree. Mm-hmm. A lot of times every now and then I'll like a variant better, but usually I tend to like the main covers the best. Mobius went with 19. Richard's going with 23. Whoever's left, ready to jump in and take a guess. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Uncle Gary, you are correct with 28.
Yay. Shot in the dark. You know, twice a day, even a broken clock is right twice a day. There you go.
Well, you got it.
Or the blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then. There you go.
Well, you got it. And Sal sent over some info for Absolute Batman number 17. Yeah, the writer is Scott Snyder. The artist is Eric Canetti. And the cover artist is Nick Dragata for this cover that we're showing. And the cover colorist is Frank Martin Jr. Now, I was a little curious as to why. Like, there's so many variants for, in issue number 17. I believe this is the first appearance of the Absolute Batman's Poison Ivy.
It must be, yeah.
So that's why there are quite a few variant covers. So there you go, 28 for Absolute Batman.
They knew there'd be a lot of people with just an itch to get that cover.
Yeah.
That issue.
Yeah. So there we go. Absolute Batman. Nice to see somebody, nice to see a different victory every now and then. I'm sure in a couple weeks from now, Vampirella is going to take it. It seems like now last year and this year again, Vampirella is taking at least one a month. And now we go to right or wrong. Uncle Gary, do you have statements?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Attitude when I asked you, you said I'll consider it.
I'll consider it. So far, DC's KO event has surpassed, I think, pretty much everyone's expectations in quality.
I say right. I know for me and for everyone that I've actually talked to who's read it has said yes. So for me, I'm saying right.
It's just been fun. Comics can be fun. I love how they're making it like a big video game, and everybody, we expected what the final two to be, or the final challenger to be. It's not who I picked. And a little side thing, Sonny's prognostication of Vixen beating Swamp Thing is the absolute worst one we had. But the final, the final person that's gonna
I'm a bit behind though.
dark side was kind of a not what most people picked. So
you're right, but I haven't read it.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet.
But yeah, so it's I think it's just surpassed all expectations. I think it's been fun. It's just been a fun read, and I've enjoyed it. So it has surpassed my expectations, and I think it's surpassed. I think everybody looked at it and thought, oh, it's just gonna be gimmicky, whatever. It's just been fun, and like we say every now and then,
different rounds.
It's like the Godzilla versus King Kong versus the Justice League thing. It's okay for comics to be fun sometimes, and that's what KO is. It's just fun.
Yeah. And nice to Mr. Keith said right, Bruce said right. Even my guy Ambush Bug made a quick appearance, and when he said, "I'm probably gonna die because I'm this minor character and this huge fan."
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go out with number 2. And my first statement is Marvel's Armageddon event will leave more fans satisfied than disappointed.
What characters is it going to entail?
Mainly Avengers. So I know, like I said, Spider-Man's kind of leading into it. The Wolverine's event is leading into it, but it's mainly Avengers, I believe.
Okay, I'm going to say yes because their record on the X events lately has been shaky. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that the you making an Avengers is going to please more people. So I'm going to say right.
Okay, so I said right. Yeah. And let's see. Richard also says right. I hope so. I always got high hopes for stuff. So hopefully the Armageddon event is a good one. Saying it's going to be big. And Bruce also says right. And this is one thing that I should have shown during comic news, but since we're talking about the event, it was for Armageddon. Alex Ross is working on Marvel Dimensions, so this was something I should have shown during comic news. And this is an image that he posted for his Marvel Dimensions story.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, many characters. Yeah. So that's that. So now we move on to your second statement.
All right. When we did our DC top 10, Sonny, did you submit a list for it? Your top 10 DC characters?
No, I did not.
There's a reason Sonny didn't. Or actually, Sonny did submit a list and we didn't allow it. That's because Sonny's top 10 DC characters list had 5 X-Men on it.
That is wrong. I know my DC characters.
Sonny had a top 10 DC list that had 5 X-Men characters on it, and we just could not accept it.
Wrong. I know my DC characters.
That's right. Sonny had 5 X-Men on his DC comic character list.
And Bruce says that's pretty rad. Okay, that was before. That was before you said that. And then for number 2, Mr. Keith said right, but I haven't read that either. The Armageddon event hasn't come out yet, so that was just guessing. Well, but yeah, so we'll see what the audience thinks about that. So wrong.
Right. Sonny's top 10 DC list had 5 X-Men characters on it.
That's right. All right, so we will get on to my next.
I never tell stories on Sonny that weren't true.
Always, at least once an episode. So my next statement is going on to Wonder Woman. I say the next actress to play Wonder Woman will not play her as long as Gal Gadot did.
Not play her as long?
Yeah, for as many years, yeah.
I'll agree with that. Right.
Yeah, I think right. For some reason, I just don't see whoever it is lasting that long. But as we get everyone their answers on that one, back to your one, Richard said, yeah, a few X-Men could have been DC characters, Storm and Nightcrawler.
That's right. That's exactly right, because they were Cockrum had created Storm and Nightcrawler to be Legion of Superheroes characters. Yep.
Yeah, good job, Richard. And let's see, Bruce said, yeah, I had to miss the favorite episode. I had top 10 with 50 characters on it.
Well, Booge, it's in.
That would have happened to me, yeah.
It should be in the archives. Oh, it was tough to cut down. I didn't choose any women. I took the villains out of it. I mean, it was rough. And then I was making last second substitutions. Yeah, it was a brutal list.
Dude, that's I knew for me. I'm like, that's going to be very hard to make. And then see if it's false, which there's 3 is false. Yeah, see, false.
Richard, don't give Sonny a break. You know he did.
Bruce says right, but I think he thinks 3 is actually 4.
No. See, Richards knows what he's talking about, but one that doesn't go your way doesn't know what they're talking about. That they got things confused. See, look at that.
See, even Mr. Keats says that number 3 is wrong. They'll keep her around. But that was actually for the Wonder Woman. Okay, well,
you're sowing seeds of doubt here because you don't want the answer. You don't want everybody to say right that you would have had 5 X-Men on the DC list.
Movie says right, but he says, "Hell no." That's right. And then Bruce said he took the villains out too. All right, Uncle Gary, you got any last statements to make?
Well, I have such an affinity for horror covers, but I also love sci-fi covers. And the greatest sci-fi covers have UFOs on them. Greatest sci-fi covers have UFOs on them. Who doesn't love a great flying saucer?
I would say I should. I mean, my answer may change one day when I see more. Like if I really look, but off the top of my head and seeing that one, and off the top of my head, I will say yes. I think of sci-fi with UFOs. So right now, I will say yes. That the best sci-fi covers have UFOs on.
I may have influenced it here. I'll show you another one. Here. See if that does. There you go.
Yeah, let me make myself bigger for a moment before I make you. I'll make you bigger so you can show that one.
There you go. Just
yeah.
UFO versus flying saucers.
I really like that cover, especially the flying saucer.
So great. So yeah. So the greatest science fiction covers have got flying saucers and UFOs on them.
And then Richard says, I like robots.
No, it's not a bad choice.
Are good, yeah. And then
UFO flying saucers being driven by robots.
There you go. That's the perfect one, yeah. Bruce said, right. UFO and or aliens. He says, right. Which giant monsters is with giant monsters is a second?
I'm with you, baby. I'm with you.
Nice. There we go. I think we pretty much were going over all the. We took our time on each of the right or wrong. Unless there's one you want to go back to, or
no, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Just as long as everybody knows that Sonny submitted a top 10 DC characters list that had 5 X-Men in it.
I'm going to go Richard and say false. And also to keep in mind that Storm and Nightcrawler almost could have been characters. And then, Gladiator, the Imperial Guard is practically the Legion
of Superheroes. Is the Legion of Superheroes. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
So if someone picked Gladiator on their list, they're not so crazy. Yeah. All right. And then Bruce's monsters always rule. And now we go to our random panel of the week. As you see, it's Ash Wednesday. I got my ashes. You see the title is Ash Wednesday. And our random panel is this. And see the woman says, what a temptation. A soda fountain on an Ash Wednesday? So there you go. Wow. Always tempted. Always got those temptations of soda fountains.
Well, why was soda fountains verboten?
Too much sugar in it. Tea. I didn't even realize. I'm like, soda fountain.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know. And during Lent, you're eating fish on Friday.
Yeah. Fish on Friday, and look at that. What a temptation. a soda fountain on Ash Wednesday. I found it. So there we go. Perfect day to post it because, well, any
It's
other
Ash
day.
Wednesday. Yep.
So, Ash Wednesday, and these ladies are being very tempted on Ash Wednesday with a soda fountain. It just makes me think of like a regular water fountain, but like a fountain, but then actually like it's giving you Pepsi or Coca-Cola.
Well, well, that's an old book. You can tell there. So
Oh
soda
yeah,
fountains were, just the, like at the, drugstore counter kind of thing. So.
yeah. And Boo says, he says, yeah, them cuckoo kids are living dangerously. And Miss Key says, normally she wants Coke.
That's right. She snorts it off a toilet seat with RFK.
And Richard says, yeah, Brando has what plants crave. Yeah, Miss Kid says, yeah. Who put this soda fountain here on an Ash Wednesday? Scoundrels.
That was an asshole move.
Yeah. But if only I could see it, because I kept trying to look in the back. I'm like, no, the back is just a boy with papers. So I don't know.
Those are rolling papers.
Yeah, so there we go. Soda fountain. So make sure, everybody, to beware and stay away from soda fountains. I don't know when the last one was around. Maybe decades before my time. So,
well, when you go into a 7-Eleven, that's technically a soda fountain. And you get your big gulp, that's a soda fountain.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. See, I kept thinking of like at the park when there's a water fountain, but you're right. Yeah, so technically.
That's what it is. It's a soda fountain.
And now, thanks to this random panel, I know to stay away from it. Or at least on Ash Wednesday, stay away from soda fountains. Actually, over the past couple of years, I've really cut out soda from my diet. So.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, I try to just do more water.
I used to eat breakfast of champions, Mountain Dew, and Pop-Tarts on the way to work every day.
Nice.
Breakfast builds them big muscles, baby.
There you go. Yeah. See. And let's see. Now we get to a certain list, but first, talk about a little bit of something last week. Last week was freezer burn. So there he was from last week. And a guy you can see in the back is Humbug. And I forgot. It's just 8-Ball. But Humbug is already on the F list. Yeah, so Humbug joined. When I look back, Humbug joined the F list back on episode 93. So almost 100 episodes later, his buddy, Freezer Burn, joined the F list.
8-Ball better look out. Might be coming for him.
Yeah, because when you first look at 8-Ball, but I know he's starting to be in a few more comics. I said, wait, let me take a little bit more time.
Well, he's been in the Moon Knight.
Yeah, Dan was saying that he's...
It makes you even care about him, yeah.
Yeah, so interesting stuff. So now we'll get on to that F-list intro before we introduce you to the new F-lister joining today. Everybody, I hope you were spell checking all of your work, everything you write. Hope you're not making any grammatical errors, because today joining the F list is Spellcheck.
Wow.
And there he is.
He's not eating. He is he looks a little sickly.
Yeah, and he's got a big check on his head. And there he is with Typeface, who joined the F list about 1.5 years ago. And would you like to see Spellcheck unmasked?
Probably not.
And there you go. There he is anyway. He says, therefore to reverse nothing, one must clearly act. And there he was when he was creating his outfit. Yeah, an excellent name. Void of hyphens is better grasped. Literal lad? No. Phrase phantom? And there he is. When it comes across Typeface, he says, similes and personifications are now my weapons. With my help, we can delete all the evil mopopists that plague our world. For I am the one they call Spellcheck. And Typecheck says, they? What the hell are you talking about?
Well.
And there he is going, look at that. Going right into a pole, with all electricity and falling down. And someone says, I don't think that's Spider-Man, honey. And the guy says, for they shall inherit the earth. That's what Typeface said.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not, there he is. See, Spellcheck says, I am no wacko. I am Spell. And he points to the check and says, check. And he says, you are type.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about Typeface. Here we go. We know what Spider-Man said, what Uncle Ben told him, but Spellcheck says, with great power, there must also come great vocabulary.
It'd been great if that had been spelled wrong.
That would have been. So there you go. Spellcheck. Uncle Gary, would you like to take a guess as to the history of Spellcheck?
Well, Spellcheck.
His real name, who he is.
Andy Grammaticon, and he was a judge on the National Spelling Bee, and one contestant that he was judging got through with a word that he didn't spell correctly, and Spellcheck was blamed for letting it happen, and it drove him insane, and he had to dedicate his life to making sure that no words were ever misspelled because of what he let go by on his watch. That's why, with great judging power, there must also come great responsibility, and he failed his. So everything he does as Spellcheck is to make up for that terrible, terrible omission where he let a contestant go through and win the National Spelling Bee that made a mistake.
Well, that could be true because there isn't much about his past. However, the name is wrong. Spellcheck's actual name is Benjamin Pancake.
Benjamin Pancake.
Yeah, I don't know what made him get Benjamin Pancake.
Benjamin Flapjack would have been so much better.
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, Miss Keith said, let's see. Yeah, I won't lie. I've acted like this when someone mixes up there, and there. Just now when you see it, you could think of Spellcheck, and it can give you a laugh next time you see it. And Rich said, inherit the wind reference. Miss Keith, yeah. Is his secret identity Ward Smith? That would be good, man. Ward Smith.
Wordsworth. Yeah.
But a Benjamin Pancake somehow won.
I like Mobius.
Mobius says he was driven crazy by Donald Trump's tweets.
That'll do it. Covfefe?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Oh, man.
Anyone?
Oh, man. That'd be a fun comic book. Spellcheck going through Twitter, Facebook, everything. Yeah.
Mobius, I know you're in the UK. Drives us crazy with him too here. So just so you know.
We said, what's his country of origin? I believe the U.S. But it's not specifically said. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like the that's one of the questions in the spelling bee thing. What's the word origin? So the country of origin for the words. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the behavior. There's a way. The way the UK spells it. I can get away with either or because if I spell it the U.S. way, I say, well, I live in the U.S. If I spell it the U.K. way, I say, well, I was born in England.
Mm-hmm. Spelling bee champ and a hockey player. That's right, because they're Czechs and hockey player.
Yeah.
And oh my God, 3 Olympic hockey games today. 3 of the quarterfinal games went to overtime, including Canada and the U.S. Woo!
Who won that one?
Well, Canada was playing Chechnya, and they had to go to overtime. Canada won, and then the U.S. was playing Sweden, and the U.S. won in overtime.
Oh, okay.
So they now there's 4 teams left. So we're in the final 4 now. Canada and the U.S. cannot meet unless it's in the gold medal game.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll pick the table first.
And so can you use his name in a sentence?
Again? Yeah, I like Richard. Yeah.
Okay,
can you use his name in a sentence?
Yeah. Spellcheck on my iPhone is an incredible pain in my ass. There you go. In a sentence.
You used it. And Mobius said, yeah, or Bruce said, yeah, Mobius wins, and Miss Keith said, yeah, he's a real QWERTY character.
There you go. Yeah. So
how does he walk through doors? How does he walk through doors with that red check on his mask? Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, here he is when he's trying to chat it up with people.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one when he was almost literally poking Typeface's face with his big spell check. But yeah, so Spellcheck was created by Ted McKeever, and his first and only really known appearance was Spider-Man's Tangled Web, number 18. There's the cover of it right there, Alphabet City. And now, when it comes to, he also was a little part after the Civil War. He was listed as a potential recruit for the Initiative, but nothing really big came from that. His main story was with old Typeface. Yeah. And it did say after witnessing Typeface take down the Penny Ante Brigade, Benjamin Pancake created a costume and offered his services to Typeface as his sidekick. As you can see here, he was coming up with a name, thinking of Literal Lad or a phrase Phantom. Eventually came to Spellcheck. And he followed Typeface, and Typeface didn't want anything to do with him. Also, especially when he kept correcting his grammar, saying, "Oh, you should correct it." Typeface wanted nothing to do with him. See, there goes, yeah. For I am the one they call Spellcheck, and like you said, what, who, he's like, they. What the hell are you talking about? And eventually, in his ways, Typeface was doing his own thing and got really annoyed with Spellcheck. He wanted nothing to do with them. Here's Spellcheck randomly going right into the telephone pole. He himself electrocuted, and eventually, Typeface had enough of Spellcheck being around trying to correct him that he literally threw all of his, so Typeface uses those letters. He threw so many letters at Spellcheck that it knocked him out. And then he left him like this for Spider-Man to find.
Wow.
And Spellcheck says, "Can you believe Typeface's haphazardly and unacceptably arranged words? Speaking of which, Spider-Man." And then Spellcheck goes to tell Spider-Man that he should stop using the dash in his name, or the hyphen in his name. And Typeface's letter to Spider-Man even said, like, "Hey, here's a little gift. Just take him off my plate. Arrest him ASAP."
Well, I hate to admit that I own that book because I have the entire run of Tangled Web, and I'm looking at it on CLZ now. Spellcheck is such a loser that it doesn't even denote that it's his first appearance.
Oh wow. Well, maybe after this show it should be mentioned. I think you should be proud of that book. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
That's a pretty scrawny Spider-Man that's drawn on there too.
Yes, yeah, not my favorite Spider-Man.
It's malnourished Peter Parker. My goodness.
Yeah, and Richard said, "Yeah, logo. Looks close to the Flash logo."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Mr. Keith said, "This is what happens when the Riddler drops out of high school."
There you go.
Yeah. And Booge, or Mobius, Mr. Booge is giving you an award. But yeah, so there we go. There you go. Spellcheck, the fan of Typeface. When you're a fan, when your whole thing is that you're a fan of somebody who's an F-lister, it's not so good. And then
no, not good.
Yeah, your whole thing is you correct characters. I don't know why he was actually even like this. He looks like a zombie in this picture.
He does.
But that was just when he put on the outfit. Spellcheck, Benjamin Pancake, I think, is without a doubt an F-lister. I don't think he ever gets out of it.
No.
And I think you should be very proud to own his first appearance.
I am a little ashamed.
Oh, I'm looking. I will be looking to add this to my collection. This is not Typeface's first appearance.
No, it is not.
No, but it is. Spider-Man's Tangled Web number 18 is the first appearance of Spellcheck. So there we go. Spellcheck joins the F list. I don't know what took so long for me to actually put him on the list, but there he is. He's on there. Yeah, and Richard just said, art is not good.
No, the art is terrible.
I mean,
that's a terrible Spider-Man. That's anorexic Spider-Man. Jeez, eating disorder Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say not my favorite.
No.
But hey, we got a good F-lister out of it, so there you go. I like to find the positive, and this is what we got. We didn't get the best Spider-Man, but at least we got Spellcheck.
Yeah, it sounds like a lose-lose situation to me.
Yeah. And look at that, the team up of Spellcheck and Typeface. And now, Mr. Keith with a good question. Can he spell his way out of the F list?
N-O.
There you go. And Typeface is on the F list, so as he tries to get out, he can bother Typeface, and Typeface could throw more letters at him. Like I said, so in that comic book, that's how Typeface knocked him out, was throwing letters constantly at him, and it put him unconscious. Before he tied him up and left him for a very skinny Spider-Man to find. So now we go to our topic of the week. What are some comic book shows that will still be talked about decades from now? Uncle Gary, any of them that come to your mind?
Ones that I'm talking about from a couple decades still. The Batman Adventures, which the cartoon noir is what I would call it. It was just magnificent. Mark Hamill is the Joker. Quite possibly Justice League, the Justice League cartoon and Justice League Unlimited.
Like early 2000s, yeah.
Excuse me. And the X-Men 94 as we know them, that TV show. Yeah. The X-Men show from the 90s. So a lot of the Marvel shows that are on now, and some of the live action stuff, maybe we still talk about, the live action show. I know I'm an old guy, so it's in my past, but 20 years from now, I'll probably still talk about the original Wonder Woman show because of Linda Carter, and I'll talk about Lou Ferrigno's Incredible Hulk show. But none of the Marvel stuff. Like I won't be talking. I enjoyed Vision and Wanda, and I enjoyed Captain America and Winter Soldier and Falcon and all. But I don't know that I'll be talking about them much in 20 years. So I never got around to watching She-Hulk. I liked Wonder Man. I liked it. It wasn't a superhero thing, but I liked it. But I don't know that I'm talking about it in 20 years. So, it's with me, it's the cartoons. I'll be talking about those cartoons in 20 years.
I'll do some talking. I feel like, like you were taking, we're in agreement. The shows, so some of the things I have written was X-Men, the animated series, and I will put X-Men 97. I'll put X-Men 97 along with it.
97, not 94. Yeah.
Yeah, so I will put that along with it. And I had Batman, the animated series. Mr. Keith says Peacemaker, and I have Peacemaker written. I just finished season 2. Me and Maria finished season 2, so I love it.
I have to watch it. I just don't have the time to watch everything I want. When I retire, I'll retire next year. When I retire, I plan to watch a lot of this. I've been trying to watch Peaky Blinders for 5 years and haven't got to it yet.
Peacemaker, you will enjoy. I know. My unknown 80s hair metal bands. I'm like, I know that band.
Chris swears by Peacemaker. Yep, I've got to watch it. And I enjoy Cena.
So that's his best performance, in my opinion. As a wrestling fan, I still say Peacemaker is the one who sent to play. Mr. Keith says Legion, even though it wasn't popular at the time. I actually watched Legion. I rember that one.
You know what? I didn't watch.
Different take on everything, but
my youngest child loved the Legion show. There was an X-Men show called The Gifted. I really liked that on Fox, and they used Warpath. John Proudstar was one of the characters there, and I love that about it. But I like The Gifted.
Richard says Moon Knight, and Moby says I'm currently watching The Beauty, which is based on a long comic run of the same name. It's great, but can't see it being spoke of in decades to come. Mr. Keith says Doom Patrol. I remember Jamie really liked Doom Patrol. So the ones that I've written, I had Peacemaker written, obviously X-Men. I had Batman the animated series, and then I was going to say Batman Beyond, the animated series, is one that I think will still be talked about because that was the introduction of Batman Beyond. I did love the show too, so that's one I could see still being talked about. Like you were saying with the Marvel shows, like I said, I enjoyed Loki and WandaVision, but when we're thinking about decades from now, I don't really think a lot of people are going to be going back as to like, oh man, that was so big. Whereas, like I said, I still see a lot of the cartoons talked about. The Daredevil show is one of those on my list to see. So I'm curious as to, because it is very popular, if people think that
you know what, behind on that, I have not watched the new season of that, and I should, because I will say that the The show I'd probably talk about is the Netflix Punisher show. I love that with John Barenthal. So that's one I probably will talk about 20 years from now. So I had forgotten that.
All right, and then one that I need to watch, and I got some comic books, thanks to Mighty Mike, that I want to read a bit of The Boys first before talking about the show. I feel like that's a show that it's already I haven't even started it yet, but I feel like people love The Boys.
I think I watched the first 2 years. I'm behind. I know I'm behind on it.
I think Hawkeye show was really good and probably really rewatchable. I liked it. I was surprised by how much I liked the Hawkeye show. And Mr. Kitty Sonny has to watch as much Daredevil as possible. Yes, when I get to it, it won't be a little bit here and there. It will be like I got through season 1 this week. I got through season 2. I got through season 3. When I get to Daredevil, it's going to be going through it pretty fast. Before the next season, before there's Born Again season 2, I want to watch all Daredevil and Born Again. But yeah, so certain shows will last through the test. Will stand the test of time, and other shows will be forgotten. And then it always depends on certain people. There are certain shows I know that nobody I talk to knows of, but I know them and I've seen them and I love them. Like there was a show called Z-Rock that I absolutely loved, and it had 3 seasons, and then unfortunately it was canceled, but I'm one of the people who remembers it. And then there's a show called Starved that had 1 season, and I still remember it. It was an FX show. Hulu doesn't even put it on there, but I found it on YouTube to watch. So every now and then there's a show, and maybe you get a few fans here and there that still remember, but yeah, then there's certain shows that will decades from now are still talked about constantly. Like my X-Men.
And those shows you mentioned were comic book shows?
No, those are just random shows.
Okay. A show that was a show and then a comic, so maybe it's kind of backwards, but I think we'll talk about Firefly for decades.
Okay, Firefly. Oh, yeah. Walking Dead. There's another one.
Walking Dead, yeah.
So many shows. Who knows where they all go? Which ones will stand? As they say, like we were talking about Peacemaker, and Nelson appeared in this last season, and one of their most known songs was "Only Time Will Tell." So when it comes to which shows will stand the test of time, only time will tell. And with that, I think we can wrap this episode up. Say thank you all for joining me, for joining us. Tomorrow, the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week takes on Iron Fist. So Uncle Gary will be you, and who will be joining you tomorrow?
I think we'll have Chris Schwartzlander. We'll have Dan Kelly, and we'll have Sal with us as well. So if you're Iron Fist curious, then tune in and find out if being iron fisted is for you.
I remember, no kink shaming here. So
no kink shaming. Not everybody.
Show all your love.
Yeah, not everybody can have a desire to be iron fisted or to be the iron fister.
Yeah. So enjoy it tomorrow, and then of course Saturday is always Comics Unleashed. So the guys will show you all the great comic books they had, and then me and Sal, I recently found an old interview I had with a comic writer. So me and Sal said we're looking for it to come out Friday. So
okay, nice.
Yeah, and then next week, Wednesday, another episode of the Codex Podcast, and it's scheduled that Sal the Slab Guy shall be joining me.
Ooh.
That means I can join everybody on Variant Insanity. I can be like you all and guests.
Okay, there you go.
So everyone, once again, before we go, Uncle Gear would like to tell you with what we got, what we're dripping with.
Oh, look at us. You know that we're infected with all of the socials, and we would like nothing better than to give them to you, baby. Hit that button.
That's right, at the Codex Station. And if you want to get some merch and meet the team and so much more, go to www.thecodexstation.com. And of course, always remember that YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, subscribe. Make sure so that you get all the notifications, and you can know when we got other stuff going on. Many shows coming on. We have new special things, special interviews, special, maybe an on the spot, and maybe a mail call, unboxing, all kinds of stuff. And if you're on Facebook, check out Comic Character of the Day. Always new stuff every day from the guys here at the Codex Station. We got Random Panel of the Week. They have Random Random Panel of the Day. There's comic character of the week. They have comic character of the day. So
there you go.
Always fun. And before we go, it's a great show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thanks, Sonny, Uncle Gary. Great stream as usual.
Thanks for staying up late for us.
Yeah.
In Great Britain. So thank you, brother. We do appreciate you. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. So thank you all. May you all take care. Have a great day, great week. That is a 10 out of 10. Take care.